We are It's Just a Hill, a cycling club that promotes inclusion, judgment-free, with no gatekeepers. Focused on creating content from behind the handlebars to in the studio, It's Just a Hill is producing videos and podcasts to spread the message that cycling is for everyone. We are focused on reminding everyone that riding your bike can help you overcome any obstacle, because after all, it's just a hill. Hello and welcome to another episode of the It's Just a Hill Cycling Podcast. I am your host, John Stenning, and for now, I am joined by no one. No, you don't have to adjust your screens or whatever some TV host in the 60s would say, but a couple of IJAH members will be dialing in just a bit to review our most recent gravel segment race, Natchaug. But for now, you're stuck with me and me only. First of all, I'd like to say thanks to Cal Goodhouse for interviewing me for the last episode of this very podcast, and to everyone who reached out with all of their kind words. A lot of people responded very positively to that episode, and yes, it did boost my ego enough to talk to y'all by myself. So this is why this is happening. No, I'm just kidding. This is the first podcast that I have done mostly all by myself, and frankly, it is a bit odd. I have hosted many podcasts over the past 10 years of my life or so. I had one about death called Flushing It In. Another was called The Hold Up, where my friend Justin and I, we'd put you on blast about things that resonated with you from your childhood and whether or not they still held up. I even hosted a podcast called Third Pod from the Sun. And this is when I lived in San Diego. And my friend Bryant Faust and I, we would ask fellow amateur comedians in the San Diego comedy scene to watch specific episodes of Third Rock from the Sun, and we would have them on. They would think that we were going to talk about Third Rock from the Sun, especially because we asked them to watch the episode, and the name of the show is Third Pod from the Sun, but we would constantly deflect the conversation so that we never actually talked about the show. And truly, it's one of my proudest creative ideas that I've ever had. Third Pod from the Sun. It might be on the internet somewhere if you want to hear mostly people that you do not know talk about not a show that they wanted to talk about. Essentially trolling our guests. Was it a nice thing to do? I don't know, but very funny. I still think it's very funny. But most of those are old and defunct podcasts, so I guess we don't really need to talk about that. Although I do hold out hope that the Hold Up comes back someday. Former and future guests of this very podcast, Brian Cauti, who you'll hear from in just a few minutes, was on the show. Brian St. Pierre is also on the show. I think Nate Mulcahy was on the show. Has Cal been on the show? This is not a good time for me to think about it. But yeah, back to bikes. Let's go to a conversation I had with the aforementioned Brian Cauti and fellow IJAH member, Jeff Lapierre. We did the Natchaug race, segment race, this couple weeks ago now. And let's go to that conversation that we had with them. I had with them, man. This is the first and the last time I'm going to be doing this alone. Conversation I had with them about Natchaug 2023. Welcome, Jeff Lapierre, Brian Cauti. How are you guys? Thank you for coming.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Little digital download episode. Maisie is also here. Maisie looking so majestic as always, climbing all over Brian well before we even started. Brian, that your Super X on the wall, that's the bike I want to talk to you about. That is the cleanest I've ever seen it. You must have cleaned it after the ride that we're about to talk about, and you haven't ridden it since. Is that true?
Correct. I cleaned it. I cleaned it right when I got home.
That is a shiny chain.
Yeah, it only has 82 miles on it.
Wow. Are you keeping track?
No. That's not true. It has less. 82. Yeah. I forgot I wrote it twice before that, but yeah, less than 200 miles on it.
Wow, nice. Jeff, not to bury the lead of welcome. Thank you for coming. This is your first time on the podcast. Thanks for coming.
Oh, damn.
First time.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Have you cleaned your bike since Natchaug? And if you, so answer that question. Are you going to say no?
I rinsed it off and dried it, but I didn't.
That's better than nothing.
Yeah, I was ready to take a nap after.
Yeah, I didn't. Brian cleaned his right away. I didn't clean mine until the next day, and I felt badly about it.
For leaving it that long?
Yeah.
It was too nice out, and I knew that if I didn't do it, I wouldn't have wanted to do it the next day. So I just bit the bullet.
Yeah, there was a lot more dirt on my the bottom of my down tube than I thought there was, I guess. It was a lot muddier than I thought. We are talking about the 2023 Natchaug. Brian and I rode the Epic. Jeff, you rode the Explorer, right?
Yep.
And then there was a third, which I think is very cutely named the Express. Yeah, that's the shorter one, the Express.
Yeah.
So Natchaug was just a couple of weeks ago now. We are the one that we did was 84 miles. Jeff, yours was 62 miles. They were both segment races, right? We had Brian, you and I had 5 segments. Jeff, you had 4. Is that right?
Five
4
segments.
Yep.
Yeah, 5 and 4. Jeff, have you ever done a ride like this before? A segment race? I know Brian and I have done a couple.
Trying to think. No, I haven't. This was the first one.
And what did you think of like that format, you know?
At first going into it, I was like, oh, this is not a real race. Like it should be, all out from beginning to the end. And then I found for a gravel ride that I might prefer this.
Yeah, I kind of like it too. People talk shit about it.
I mean, talking about accessibility, I think it makes it more accessible. Like, and it might even make it more competitive in some ways because there's a lot of things that could happen over 80 or 60 miles that you could sort out in time to be ready for a segment and then ready to pounce on it. So
yeah, I agree. I even feel like that accessibility leads to it being more competitive because you're getting more people willing to sign up. So like, the difference between like a bunch of like Cat 1s showing up, which were like the people that ended up sort of, I don't know, who the winners were. They like Cat 2, Cat 1, Brian?
I think they're they're on Jameson Cannondale Jameson team. I'm pretty sure is an elite.
Yeah, they're super strong riders, right? And it makes you feel like, it is different. It's different, but like also thinking of like 82 miles or 64 miles and doing that on gravel bikes, like at that elevation on that type of course at race pace is a totally different day. That's like a brutal day on the bike. That's like overland.
Oh yeah.
That's a long day. Like Brian, how do you feel about the whole segment race, right? Because you've done both. You've done traditional gravel races like overland, but you've also done different segment races. We've done a few together.
I think I definitely like I guess like to call it a race from like racing from start to finish, that's like in everyone's head. But I think it's cool. I don't know. It's more like it's not about like it's more about like your 5 to 10 minute power. I feel like that's what you're focusing on versus like a 4 to 5 hour race, like choosing when to use your matches. It's like less of a you have 5 segments, you're gonna chill in between, and that like all you need is 5 matches for the day. So I feel like it's a little more predictable as far as like bonking.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I mean, because a full 84-mile race is intimidating. Like something as big as like overland that you're racing the whole time is like, I don't know. I get a little bit more psyched out when a ride like that in like comparison to a ride like this. Like I'm not in my head too much at the beginning. I know it's also going to be about like stopping at the rest stops, which I think were like fantastic. I'm definitely not shy to say that I wasn't a fan of the rest stops at Natchaug last year. And let me tell you, they crushed it this year.
They did. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I guess that's another thing too, is like you can take your time at the feed zones. Whereas when you're in an actual race, you're either like hopefully getting hand ups or like you're stopping and like filling up shit as fast as you can and like getting back on the bike and going, which was like, the biggest thing I think for overland. I feel like the rest stops at Natchaug this year were better than the rest stops at overland, which is kind of insane.
Oh yeah, I will like. I mean the chaos of the rest stops at Overland were enough to like make them easy to forget because like you're just like running in like a mad dash, filling up a bottle, maybe grabbing a gel, like you said. Hopefully, there's someone up the road a little bit with a handout. But yeah, to me, and I, like Jeff, let me know if you agree. Like the at the rest stop, you wouldn't even think it was a race, really. You know, you wouldn't even think it was a competitive type of ride.
Yeah, yeah. There were definitely people chilling more than I thought they would at the rest stop. I didn't want to stop too long, but it didn't seem like anybody was in a hurry to like get back on their bikes.
Yeah, there's a fine line between like letting your legs rest too long. I think at the last rest stop where I may or may not have had maybe too many donuts. I think maybe we were there a little bit too long, Brian. I don't know. It's just not by the time I got back on the bike, my legs were like, oh fuck, we should have been moving a little bit sooner. You know, it didn't take long to shake it out, but it was different than the first two. The first one had just now, Jeff, how many rest stops did yours have? Ours had 3. Did yours have 3?
I think it was 3. There's a water stop, a rest stop, and then the second rest stop.
When did the second one have donuts? The last one?
The last one had the donuts.
The donuts were still there. They weren't run out?
They didn't run out. I think the first wave cleared out all the food during our first rest stop.
Oh, really?
So yeah, there was no nutrition at the first rest stop.
At the first traditional rest stop, they were freaking. That's where they were making grilled cheese, right, Brian?
No, I think that was the second one.
Oh, okay. So that was. Oh, yeah, you're right. That was the second one. The first one was just water for us too.
Right, but I'm at the second, like the actual rest stop with food. No grilled cheese, no gel or sugar packets or anything like that.
That's a little bit of a bummer.
Weird. Yep. I did hear that they ran out of donuts.
I heard they ran out of donuts too, and I feel guilty because I ate too many donuts. I feel guilty. I had 3. I shouldn't have eaten 3 donuts. That's 2. That's at least 1 too many, probably 2 too many. And then people were like, they ran out of donuts, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm a greedy little grubby little bitch." Yeah.
Listen, they had 2 different types, so to be fair, I had to try each of them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, Jeff. Jeff, I'm sorry.
That's fine. Well, I had a donut.
He had a donut. You had a donut, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
The grilled cheese, though,
You wanted a grilled cheese?
No, but
okay. I'm not eating a grilled cheese on a bike ride. Fuck no.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not eating a grilled cheese. I threw up a grilled cheese going down the cank once. I'm not doing it. Yeah. And honestly, last year, Jeff, Brian and I pretty much rode almost the same route. It was a little bit different, but like the same distance, the same elevation. And there was one rest stop, and it had like grilled cheese and one other thing that I don't even remember because I don't even remember seeing it there. It was like peanut butter and jelly, like allegedly peanut butter and jelly. We went into the general store and bought food last year.
I remember seeing that in the video you guys did.
And that general store is closed now.
Yeah, it's sad.
Sad as hell.
But yeah, I actually have both of the bandanas hanging above me, so I'm looking at the routes side by side, and I think the route that we did this year, I think, was way cooler. The changes that they made, they weren't like very big.
Way,
oh, there it is.
And this way. Yeah. No, it wasn't very big, but there were cool changes, and there were cool like spots that, it was relatively scenic. Jeff, have you ridden out in that area before? This is what is known as the quiet corner of Connecticut, the northeast corner.
I think the closest I've come is maybe a little bit over the line. I haven't ridden out that far into Connecticut up that way. So yeah. It was beautiful out there.
Yeah, truly.
It seemed quiet. I like those type of rides. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love when we went up that hill, that there's like that steep dirt climb, and then it like opens up into this field, and there was that guy having like a picnic by himself on that log.
Yes. That was after the last rest stop. There's like a big climb, and you take a right onto the name of the road is fuck. The name of the road is so
is that Child Dome?
Yeah, Child Dome. It's Child Dome Road. That's what it's called. Yeah, so it's like a big paved climb, and you take a right onto this gravel road. And this dude it's like he was eating his donuts, but like he saved them for a few miles, and he was on this long, like 12-foot log. And we were like, "Hey, dude, you good?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Hey, he's just chilling.
Yeah, he was chilling.
Whoever that guy was, props to you.
You know, I often say that I don't believe in the spirit of gravel, but maybe that's who we saw that day. Maybe that was the spirit of gravel.
That was the ghost of gravel past.
Of gravel past. When gravel used to be regular. When gravel used to be what people say it is now, and not just like roadies on bikes with bigger tires.
That was him. That was him.
Yeah, that was him. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. Let me see. I got a couple other things I want to talk about. Jeff, did you feel like what were your thoughts going into the ride? You know, were you treating it like, were you getting yourself hyped up, treating it like a race? Were you just going out there to have fun? And then like, how did those feelings come to be afterwards, after you completed it?
I think first event of the season, I was thinking of more just going out and having fun and only having to push it on the segments. So I've been coming into this season doing less volume. Yep. So the way I felt at the end of the race is that maybe I should have been doing more volume,
maybe all of
more intensity.
Yeah,
sure. It was a tough race, but now that it's done, like I'm glad to have it in the legs going forward for sure.
Yeah, Brian, what about you? Were you psyched up the morning? I mean, we're going to put a video out in a little bit. You did spill your scratch everywhere. So you were maybe a little bit in your head. But yeah, how did you feel going in? You know, were you in your head psyched up about it or what?
No, I mean, I felt pretty good. I've been like on a pretty structured thing since like, I don't know, when I started it, like November, I want to say, October. And definitely feel stronger from that. So I felt pretty confident. And I was happy with the outcome that I ended up with. So
yeah, hell yeah. 22nd, 21st?
24th out of 113.
Yeah, you beat me by 4, you son of a gun.
You got me on that one segment though, right at the line.
Yeah, I hate to blame it all on one segment because obviously, like, it was my ride, but really, I think that first segment just like it fucked me. Like I was like, when I looked at my placement on the other 4 segments, I was within like 20 to 28th, in that range. And then the first one, I was 90th on that first segment. It just was such a shit show. I don't know if the same was for you, Jeff, but like we went into it from pavement. There were a couple of turns that were on pavement. People were already sort of getting chippy. They were like flying by on the left-hand side of the yellow line to like get placement even before we took the first turn past the golf course. Then we took this one turn and there was a utility truck on the side of the road. So it like us. Pushed over on the side. This was even before we got into the gravel. And then we hit the gravel and we were going like, we were legit maybe 6 or 7 wide, and it went into 4 wide on a muddy trail. And so people were really trying to find their lines. Some dude went down right in front of Brian when he hit the little berm, going like into the woods a little bit more. Dude, was chaos.
Like bodying people. I think I bounced off of 4 different dudes, like just fucking shouldered them. I'm just like, sorry, just like keeping going, and you had to fight for position. Everyone was trying to get. There was so much mud in the middle. Everyone's going around the edge, and then there was. Right. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm like, I just fucking flew down the middle through the puddles and shit because everybody was getting caught up on the edge.
Yeah. That's usually not my mindset. Go through the puddle is not usually my mindset, but I had the same thought. I was like, fuck this. It's just water. Like, let's go. Like, let's get out of here. Dude, like at one point, some guy went down right in front of me, and I was next to Sean Lowney, and he looked at me and he was like, we're fucked.
because like we were just like all of a sudden that just like ate in, like people were going by us. There was like 10 seconds. It was like just like we made eye contact and we were like, dang, like we just got to get through this segment now. Was it the same for you, Jeff, going into that first one?
Yeah, totally the same. I was tearing down it. It was fun as hell, actually. I loved fun. That first segment, and yeah, I think some guy came down in front of me towards the end of the segment, and I had to put my foot down and lost momentum, and got tied up a little bit. But yeah, I don't know if it was sketchy, but it was awesome.
Yeah, it definitely was. The end where
it just looks like she's participating.
The end of the segment where there was like that peanut buttery mud section that popped onto the road.
Yeah,
everybody was just stuck there, and I look up and Jeremy is like off to the right, not even on the trail anymore, just going around everybody and
way around,
and then like pulled up onto the road. I don't know if he. Oh no! By that point, the segment was already over.
Yeah, because like it finished, and then we still were like descending, like in that muddy trail section, and then like you said, we hit. I guess it makes sense. You want to end it before you hit the road because if there happens to be traffic at the road, that could be dangerous. There was someone flagging us to make sure that we were safe because actually we got stopped, so a car could go by. But that is safe. I do think that those like segments were well placed, like they weren't really that sketchy. Sure. Like they could have been sketchier. I mean, going into a segment with like that many people, it's going to be like, shoulder to shoulder and stuff. So I don't really think they could have avoided that at all. I don't necessarily hate the idea of the way they did it last year where we went out in waves, because I do feel like you can like ride the segments the way that you want to ride them, but I'm not like upset that they did it this way. A mass start has its own sort of energy, and so
I mean it broke up after pretty much immediately after that segment.
After that, was it the same for you guys, Jeff? Like after that, like people were waiting for their friends, or like it was way strung out by then?
Yeah, by then, I think at the start of the race, I'd started riding, like planning to like, I'm going to ride with. And after that segment, it was all bets are off. I was like, trying to find people to group with for the rest of the ride. And that broke up like throughout the whole ride. I wasn't able to stick with the group.
I'm lucky all my friends waited for me at the bottom because I wasn't. I was not. Brian and Jeremy were off to the side of the road with Rich and a few other people. Sean and I came out of the bottom of that thing like maybe at the same time, and it just like we all sort of stuck together. It ended up just being the three of us and this other guy Chris that rode together like pretty much the whole time. That dude Chris that we talked to at the first rest stop. Now we're Strava friends and everything, and he got videos of us, and so that's nice. Thanks, Chris.
That dude was cool. Fucking
very cool.
super tucking down the middle of I think it was the fourth segment.
Yeah, he was doing it on the fourth, and he was doing it on the second. He was doing the second when he was chasing you, the one that you said I beat you to the line on. He was like behind you, and so I was chasing him, to chase you. That was sort of my motivation. And this guy was like super tucking, like on little rollers, like all of a sudden it'd be like you, and he was super tuck real quick. He was on the sick Rodeo Labs bike that like, and he had this like cool jersey that like matched the bike. I swear to God, when you buy a Rodeo Labs frame, you get a jersey with it. He said that's not the case, but I don't know. They're like a cult. Rodeo Labs is like a cult bike guy. No, those are very cool bikes. And Chris was fun to ride with. And man, at the end, he just like, I was not trying to hammer before that last segment. And that dude was just putting down power to finish. And I was like, nah, dude, you can drop me. I'm fine.
We were riding along, and I was like, yo, I think we're going to chill. You're welcome to chill, but if you want to go, like, just go. And he was like, I think I'm going to flush out the legs. And he just like hammered it.
Yeah, he hammered it. He finished strong too. I saw a picture of him. There are a lot of cool pictures from that ride too. Like over 600 photos ended up being posted from that ride. So, Yeah, I saw a picture of Chris crossing the line. I saw a lot of people in pictures bunny hopping the line. What's up with that?
Same.
What's up with that?
I don't know.
That's how.
Huh?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the finish line is lava. You gotta hop over it.
Oh, I thought like, so what I saw was people who normally ride road bikes trying to show off that they have like cool handling skills, and so they're gonna jump over the line at the end. Like, check me out, I ride gravel. And it's not even like a real bunny hop. It's like you're pulling up on your feet,
just on the front.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that on Saturday. I'm gonna fucking bunny hop.
Saturday at the URI race. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, URI race. That'll be fun. I'm talking about that later on this episode of the podcast. Yeah, later. This will come first.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we're doing that. That's coming up this weekend. But yeah, Natchaug was fun. Any other things you guys want to say about Natchaug before we get out of here? I thought it was really well done. Richard Freeze. I'm sorry, I might not be pronouncing that right. I think he does a great job. There were a lot of good sponsors this year. They didn't have Specialized last year. They didn't have Untapped last year. I mean, it is kind of a bummer that they ran out of some of that Untapped stuff on some of the riders. But all in all, I thought it was a good experience. I would do it again. And yeah, Jeff, what do you think? Would you do it again?
Same. I'll probably do the Epic next year.
Hell yeah.
For it a little better. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Brian,
you
want to do it again?
Got a date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Already?
It's already in the calendar.
Already in the calendar, baby. I put it in the calendar yesterday. I want to say it's March 24th. 2024.
March 24th, 2024. Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, I thought it was awesome. There were tons of people, maybe about 600 or so registered riders. It starts right at Thompson Speedway. Jeremy did some warm-up laps on the track. Is that true? Did he?
I think so.
I think he did. Even if he didn't, let's tell people that he did, because he was talking about it. And yeah, no, I thought it was really well done. And it was cool. They sent out a survey afterwards that we filled out, and I had mostly positive things to say. I did not wait in line for food at the end. I heard it was a long line, and instead, Jeff and I talked in the parking lot. So, yeah, it was good. It was good.
I didn't wait for food either. Jeremy and I got beer. That was it.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah. Any closing thoughts? Thank you guys again for coming. Being on the show. Yeah, I don't know. You guys have anything else to say about Natchaug? I'm not trying to cut you off. My bullet points are done though, so.
I don't think so.
Just like it's a great way to start the spring in New England. I'm ready.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Ready to ride now. Like, that's nice.
You get a bandana, you get a cool top tube sticker. I guess I always have something to say, huh? The main reason why It's Just a Hill is about being non-judgmental is because I'm such a judgmental person, and I'm trying to rid my life of judgment. I'm trying to be less judgmental. That's just me being honest for a second, Fuck. No, Natchaug was great. I have mostly positive things to say, and I put them in the review, and Richard heard them, and they already have a date for next year, and I'll be there again. So yeah.
Top tube sticker needs to have mileage on it.
Thank you. The top tube sticker mileage was so
I didn't
weird.
Look at it at all.
Do I have it here? No, I don't. It didn't peel off my bike nicely. It was so strange. So it was 85 miles, and it was like 20, 40, 65, 80. And it had the markings for the stops, like where they were, but it didn't have like mile 24.7 or whatever. And that's all it needed. You just had to okay, so this is somewhere between 40 and 65. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that was
relative fractions.
Yeah, very strange.
Is that what he wants? Like, does he not want people to know exactly where they are? But I mean, you can look on Ride with GPS and see where they are. So
yeah, that's true. Maybe that could be a part of it. Really keeps you on your toes. It's like with the URI race where they keep changing the course. Like, is it this course or is it that course? What race are we doing in 5 days? Where am I riding in 5 days? Jeff, do you know about this URI road race?
I've heard about it.
What's happening this Saturday, and the course keeps changing on us. We thought it was one thing, and then now it might just be the same as the TT course. I don't know. Brian was talking about it in the group chat today. I sort of just caught up on it.
It appears that way because I do remember that there was a 4-corner course.
It was like a big rectangle course. Yeah.
And now it's like out, circle back circle, and you do that 4 times.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows?
The wind. Find out. One way we're going to be battling. Hopefully, I don't know what way the wind usually goes in that area, but
like 9 times out of 10, it goes from west to east. So, yeah, we'll see. It's a very, very It's one of the most windy sections of Rhode Island. We've ridden it a bunch. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
and it's cool to support URI and like doing a new race and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have no idea what to expect because we don't know who is registered. So
right, that's another thing.
Who knows?
Oh, it's just going to be me versus you. I'll pull you to the line. I'll let you win like Wout lets Christophe Laporte win. Okay, how's that feel?
Okay.
No. Let's at 500 meters we just out sprint each other. According to Exert, you have a higher peak power than me, so you'll be winning, my friend.
I don't know about that.
It would be nice. It would be nice for someone with an It's Just a Hill jersey to be on the podium. So let's try to race as a team. And Jeff, if you don't want to sign up, you can just be cheering us on in your heart.
Always.
Thanks. All right, cool. Thanks a lot, guys. Natchaug 2023. I think it was great. 2024. It's already in the books, and maybe we'll see you there. Hopefully. No grilled cheese for
there.
But yeah, all right. See you guys there. No. Yeah, I'm gonna start training. Let's start training now. This is the start
right now.
Now we're starting. Yeah. Well, just in our heads, I guess. All right. Natchaug 2024. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Later.
Cool. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Brian. Now you are stuck with me once again. I have a couple other things I want to talk about before we get out of here. First of all, the URI road race weekend, if you will. This Saturday and Sunday, April 8th and 9th, me and some other members of It's Just a Hill are very excited to be racing and participating in the 2023 URI race weekend. We're signed up for the USAC, the United States of America Cycling Men's 4-5 road race. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. They'll be racing all weekend, happening Saturday and Sunday. Collegiate racing by the ECCC happening at the same time, including an individual time trial on that Saturday as well. So if you go to college full time, you can participate in this ECCC race, or you want to just go down there and race for USA Cycling. If you're not in college, you can do what we're doing. We're doing the Cat 4-5. By we, I mean me, Jeremy, and Brian. And that's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, I said that with it's going to be a lot of fun. What the hell? It's going to be a lot of fun. And those races take place in Westerly, Rhode Island. The following day, Sunday, April 9th, is the Criterium race or the Crit race at the Ninacrit course at Ninagrit Park in Charlestown, Rhode Island. Not only is this a great opportunity to support local cycling and support local people putting on cool events, but there's a severe void in the local racing scene here, especially road racing in Rhode Island. And the only other one I can think of is the Jamestown road race, which I don't even know if it's going on this year. It usually happens around Columbus Day weekend, and did not do it last year, but did do it a couple years ago. And I'm not going to sit here and drag the Jamestown road race. It's got a lot to learn, I guess, as do we all, but Jamestown Rotary road race. But yeah, URI road race weekend. They are also looking for volunteers. So volunteers would be great. People are needed to help out at the corners of the race to help keep the race safe. You stand on a corner, you get to watch people on bikes fly by, and you get a little extra power by asking other people to, civilians, if you will, to hold for a minute or two while the race passes. You can sign up at volunteersignup.org/DPEXP. I'm going to put that link in the description here. We'll also put that up on Strava. That is already up on our Facebook page. But that's volunteersignup.org/DPEXP. You can and you should just come out to watch. Maybe you don't have the time to volunteer or racing just isn't your thing, but spectators are welcome and it helps encourage those of us who are racing. You can cheer us on. Maybe you have a cowbell or like a Vuvuzela from the World Cup. And I know I'll be rooting on some of the other races before and after I'm going. It's going to be like a whole day. I think the racing starts at 10 and the last one goes off at 4. There's Cat 1, 2, 3 races. Like I said, there's the individual time trial happening with the collegiate racers on that same day. It's beautiful down in Westerly, down by Musqueamicut Beach. I ride down there a lot, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's, supporting good local stuff, local bikes, local cycling, and it spreads awareness of bikes, which I think is helpful. Also, coming up on April 22nd, we will be hosting a spring cleaning ride. We at It's Just a Hill are trying to rid our local streets of trash. All the details are up now on our Strava and Facebook page. But just to give you a quick rundown, we're going to be starting at North Kingstown High School. We'll be meeting around 9 a.m. and handing out trash bags and gloves for people to roll out and collect roadside refuse. This is more of a trash scavenger hunt than a traditional group ride. 3 different prize goodie bags will be rewarded. The 3 categories for goodie bags will be most trash collected overall, most nips collected, and like biggest conversation starter piece. So think of it as like something you might talk about around the water cooler or like around the coffee table. Like you want to find, maybe you're going to find like the coolest, weirdest, odd objects. I recently found a dildo on the side of the road. Recently, like I think it was in December, maybe January. Yeah, it was the best ride find. It's like the holy grail of ride finds. So if you find something similar, maybe, a whole toilet, if you bring a whole toilet back, wow, you'll be getting a prize. The prizes are not different for any of like the tiers. But like most nips collected, most trash collected overall, and biggest conversation starter piece. You're going to walk away with, maybe a t-shirt or a hat or some stickers or all of the above, and hopefully maybe some gift cards from some local companies. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. There are going to be like suggested routes on Strava and Facebook, but people are also encouraged to like just map out their own rides. Like I said, it's not a traditional group ride. So like we want you to come out and sort of have a starting base to then go and like collect trash. So you can head, any direction. Let's name them: north, south, east, west, northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. Wow, you like how I did that? It's mirrored to you, but in my head it made sense. Oh wow, northeast. No, I won't. So yeah, you head out in any direction. We're just asking that you return to the starting lot. Wow, I really got a kick out of that. I would just ask you to return back to like the starting lot at North Kingstown High School by like 2:30. So 2.5 hours, go out, ride a little bit, strap some frame bags on your bag, some big bar bags so that you have room to put trash in it, or carry a backpack, right? This isn't like a traditional group ride. It's a trash scavenger hunt that, we're going to collect and then bring to the local transfer station. And we'll have bags for you, like I said, and afterwards there'll be a little bit of a social gathering in the parking lot. We'll have a little pop-up tent, bring some snacks, maybe some cupcakes, a cooler full of drinks, just to thank you for participating. So even if you don't walk away with like one of those goodie bags, still try to make it worth people's while. So that's at North Kingstown High School, Saturday, April 22nd. We're planning to roll out around 9 a.m., but it's really a soft roll. Come early, collect trash early. Hey, if you're just like on a ride this Wednesday or whatever, just go and collect trash. If you bring it to that day, don't bring like your kitchen trash. We don't want Ryan to have to like take your kitchen trash to the transfer station. That's not what this is about. But if you're picking up stuff on the side of the road, you're going for a walk, the streets have not been swept yet. It's still pretty early, but it's obvious that they haven't been swept. There's a lot of trash out there. There are so many nips on the side of the road in Rhode Island. I can't tell you how many I see on a weekly basis. That was sort of the inspiration for this. But yeah, let's get together, let's collect some trash, and then we'll sanitize our hands and eat some cupcakes afterwards. You don't even have to ride, I guess, if you don't want to. There's no set pace for any of the rides. We just want people to come out, strap up their bike with bags and put trash on them. And, you'll have this cool looking trash bike. Maybe I'll bring this bike. Maybe not. I don't want this bike to ever leave the house at this point. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And like I said, we'll have some goodie bags, and then we'll have snacks and drinks and everything at the end. There'll be route suggestions, but feel free to make your own route from that starting location, North Kingstown High School. Even stop by Jitters. They're like right around the corner. They're great. Okay, cool. Thanks. Well, it is the next day. I'm wearing a different hoodie, maybe a different hat. Maybe I was wearing the same hat yesterday. I don't remember. I rode my bike today with Brian and Sean. And if you made it this far in the podcast, thank you for listening to me ramble. If you didn't make it this far, well, you aren't hearing this, and therefore you are dead to me. We will be hosting a group ride this Sunday, April 9th, aka Easter Sunday, or Passover, or most importantly, Paris-Roubaix Sunday. The ride will roll out from the North Scituate community lot located adjacent to North Scituate Elementary School. There'll be an A group, a B group, and a C group. That's right, folks. We got a 50-miler, a 45-miler, and a 40-miler being led out by myself for the A group. B group would be led out by Felipe and Jeffrey Clark. Felipe Vivas, Jeffrey Clark, thank you so much. C group, still looking for someone to lead that out. So if you happen to see this in time, reach out to me, john@itsjustahill.com. Also, I would like to thank our sponsors. You've heard them on the podcast before. Maybe you've seen them on the back of our jerseys. A Guy and His Pie, killer Detroit-style pizza. Check them out on Instagram or at aguyandhispie.com for menu and pre-ordering details. I just got pizza with my family a couple weeks ago from Brian, and it was, it's great every time. It was so good. It had asparagus, and we got the asparagus. The ordering process is super easy. The menu usually drops at like 8 a.m. You log in, you place your order, and you put a pickup time somewhere between like 4 and 8, 5 and 8, depends. The times are always posted on his Instagram. Sometimes he does earlier service on Saturdays. So check him out, aguyandhispie.com. Of course, we got bomb burritos and wings out of Westerly, Rhode Island. They are at bombburritosri.com. And maybe you've forgotten them, but hopefully not, because Pepperidge Farm and Pepperidge Farm remembers. Head to your local bread aisle and see what the world of Pepperidge Farm has to offer. And of course, our local bike shop sponsor, Mythic Bike Works out of Peacedale, Rhode Island. It's a quaint little village in the more well-known South Kingstown, Rhode Island. They're located right on the South County Bike Path across from Whalers Brewing and one of my personal favorite restaurants in the whole world, Jade Bun. So check them out. Grab some brewskis or some bao buns while you're at it. Mythic is a super friendly and approachable shop, which I think goes a long way in today's day and age. A lot of bike shops are weird and standoffish and elitist, and you walk in and they're like, what is this guy here for? Mythic is not like that at all. They're great. They have road bikes for sale. They have tons of mountain bikes. They just opened up the Peacedale ramp room right up the road, which is awesome. So check them out. Mythic, super friendly, and they deserve all the praise. They are so great. They are so great. Mythic Bike Works, Peacedale, Rhode Island. Check them out. And that's it for this episode. Thank you for listening. Keep riding, and see you out there soon. Boom.
Decaf left, regular right. Decaf left, regular right. It's very challenging work.